Internet, and today's video is going to be a Top 5 Wednesday. This is a Goodreads group, now hosted by Sam over at Thoughts on Tomes. Both links are down below for your perusal. So today's Top 5 Wednesday topic is favorite angsty romances. Now let's be honest, I don't like angsty. I have a very short tolerance for stupidness, and I cannot stand when people want to go cry in a corner and pout about how horrible their life is, instead of just getting up and dealing with their problems like everyone else. Don't get me wrong, I love complaining. It's something I do and I'm very, very good at, but I hate when characters just go sit in corners, whine, don't communicate, and then blame their problems on everything else. We see the king of angst in characters like Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights. I am not a big fan, but that doesn't always mean I don't like angsty romances. Sometimes, if done right, I can actually enjoy one. I always like a little pain in my love. It makes everything all the more interesting. So here are 5 angsty romances that are my favorite, but might not fit into the category as some may define it. Number 1, Vampire Academy. And this is the romance between Rose and Dimitri. I really did like this romance. I thought it was really cool how Rose was like her own person, she was her own warrior, and Dimitri as well. And how they were kinda in a Romeo and Juliet situation because they were both Dhampir, and 2 Dhampirs aren't allowed to get together. So I did really like that aspect, how they're kind of forced apart, but they still love each other, but they're not quite sure if they should or not because they're not allowed to in their society in the way that it's set up. I loved how it played out later with her devotion to him and his devotion to her, despite the fact that they weren't really allowed to be together. Number 2 angsty romance is from Nomona, and that is the angsty romance between Blackheart and Golden Lion. And so, not to spoil anything from this book, let's just say they had a falling out of sorts, and they once used to be lovers. They had a falling out, and now one is villain and one is hero. And this story in itself is really great, but I love their romance because I love how their falling out came to be, their hatred towards each other in the sense of hero versus villain, but the way that they still care for each other even though they're on opposing sides. The way that they still show that they want the other to be safe and to be cared for even though one is hero and one is villain. The third angsty romance on my list is from a TV show. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of angsty romances, so I checked all entertainment outlets to get this list. So we go to Marvel Netflix collab of Jessica Jones. Now I love Jessica Jones in itself, I love the TV show, and I love the character. She's just a grade A bitch who's ready to do what she needs to do, and in some cases just doesn't want to do anything for various reasons. Now, I love the romance between her and Luke Cage. Now, I know in the comments they have their own little thing going on, their own little angst and their own problems, but I'm talking specifically of the world built by the TV show. Now, I know there are many problems why Luke Cage and Jessica Jones don't necessarily get along. Some past background stuff that kind of hurts the relationship. But that doesn't mean I did not love every second of their relationship. I loved how they played off of each other and how you saw Jessica soften a little bit to Luke Cage and how Luke Cage really cared for her. The fourth one is from another TV show, once again from Netflix, and this one is Sense8. Now, I truly love this TV show. It is one of my all-time favorites for various reasons. One being that it's about these characters who are called sentients. There's 8 of them, and they're all connected in their mind for a very specific reason. They're other than human, in a sense. Now, 2 of the characters that are connected, one is Wolfgang and one is Kala. Now, they all have their own past. Wolfgang has a kind of mafia-istic past with criminal backgrounds, and Kala is an Indian woman who is now engaged to a man she's not quite sure she loves. And we see after the Sense8 is formed, these 2 and their growing love for each other, their growing romantic interest, and it's very, very entertaining to watch. The sad part is that for one reason or another, the 2 refuse to be together. Now, there's a lot being said with they have never met physically, but they like basically share a hive mind, so I'm not quite sure what that has to do with anything. Second, Wolfgang is kind of an angsty character in and of himself. He regrets the things that has happened in this past and doesn't feel that he's quite good enough for her. And Kala is not necessarily innocent in everything, but she's naive in a lot, and she wants to just love. Kala's in a marriage, or about to be in a marriage, that she's not quite sure that she can get out of because of culture and because of what it culturally implies. She doesn't really want to disappoint anyone. So the relationship between those two is rather fascinating to watch. The fifth and final angsty romance from this is one that I read in my teenage years, and it is a manga called Hot Gimmick. Now, if any of you are familiar, the basic premise of this is angst romance. It is about a girl who is kind of coerced into a relationship, let's say, with a childhood bully. And it talks about like them falling in love and like how they come to be, some history stuff, why characters don't like each other, and it's basically she is to pretend to be his girlfriend for like some period of time because she did something or another. I don't know. Manga can get pretty weird, but I remember really enjoying it as a child and like seeing how they played off of each other. So those are all of my top angsty romances that I really enjoyed at one point in time or another, and that I guess support. Comment below and let me know if you have any angsty romances that you think are really fabulous and that you really love. Comment below if you also are not a fan of angsty romance or angst in general. Like, I feel like not many people have a strong distaste for it as I do, yet plenty of people have some hesitation towards it. So comment below, let me know. Please subscribe to the channel if you like what you're seeing, and ring the little bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. So that is it for this video, and goodbye, Internet.